Hey everybody, another BC unboxing of a war game, board game. This time, Target for Today. Bombers over the Reich 1942 to 1945. Now, I know it's been out a while. 2016, it's not exactly new, but it's not new to me either, which is weird because, well, it's not really weird. I had bought this game back then, 2017, 2018 or so, and I sold it because there was this period of time where I was going or thinking that games that are on rails, such as this, are not fun because you don't get to make meaningful decisions. But then I had an epiphany at one point which said or told me that, wait a second, these are narrative generators. They're like story generators. It's like being along for the ride, like on a roller coaster. Yes, it's true. You're on rails technically, but you don't know what's going to happen next. I don't guess in that case it's not really like a roller coaster being able to see what's going to happen, but you're just there rolling dice. You go to one column, you roll on that die on that column, and then you go to another chart and another table and yada, and it's just this ongoing thing that tells a story. But I bought it, I sold it, and I regretted it. So now I've got it again. Target for Today. This game is the successor, I think, spiritually and maybe functionally as well, to another classic game, which is the bonus unboxing here that I'm going to do. B-17 Queen of the Skies by Avalon Hill. This classic came out in 83, I believe, and I bought this guy back in that time. So it's showing its age. You can see the tape here, and it's a little bit worn and long in the tooth, but I loved this game back in the day, and that's when I thought I would really like this one, and I ended up not liking it. But then thinking about things made me realize it's about the narrative in these cases. There's games that you can do where you make meaningful decisions. In this case, your meaningful decisions are pretty much filling in your crew sheet, which of your friends you're gonna add to your bomber, and see who gets killed and who survives. So I'm going to unbox this guy really quick here to show you what it looks like. I'm sure you might know, but a lot of good counters in here. That's stood the test of time. And then we have the little fighter cards as well, Messerschmitt 109s. And this is going to be for contrasting and comparing it to the parts of Target for Today. Focke-Wulf 190s, and then Messerschmitt 110s. These are the only three aircraft type in this game, and I think I'm sure there were variants on BGG or elsewhere, or even in the General magazine that allowed you to play with different German fighters, but these are the three that were included in the box. And we've got the rule book, which was only 20 pages, but you're talking about, here's an ad for the General, here's a rules outline, here's some more examples, designer notes, etc. So you're really looking at, let's see, sample mission here. You're looking at 10 pages of rules, really. So it's really light. It's not hard to get into at all. So if this is a game that you're on the fence about whether you should buy it or not, I'm sure it costs an arm and a leg. But if you don't mind the rolling on charts and tables thing, and you like the narrative generator aspect of it, then I highly suggest you get a copy of it if you can. And then here's the board, the B-17 board, which is actually a fold-out mounted board. Most of the charts that you need are here. Not all of them, though. This is going to show you how defensive fire works on your bomber, German offensive fire. So some of the most used tables are here. And then this, you place the card on here to indicate where the aircraft is coming from. So if it was 12 o'clock high, here's 12 o'clock, you put it right here. If it was level, you'd put it over the border of the board. And if it was low, you would put it over here. There we go. just off the board. So, or, at any other angle or even vertical climb, it would sit right here. Vertical dive, you'd put it right on top of it. So that's how that worked. Very cool board. I like it. Very simple artwork. And then we have all the charts and tables here. As I was saying before, roll on one chart, go to another chart, etc. That's exactly what this was. These are well used as well, but they've really stood the test of time. I played this game to death back in the day, and it shows. It's got the markings and scars to show it. But these are all the charts that you need to run it. 5 pages worth. Here's the placement board for your crew, as well as, I believe, like fire extinguishers go here. And these were just counters to indicate crew that were still operational, still working, still alive. Ones that weren't, you take them off the board, I believe, and then you can move crew around on the plane. There's rules for that as well. So if you had a ball gunner who got killed, you needed to replace him, maybe you can move the radio operator down to his position if you really wanted to cover that area of the aircraft. So that gave you that option. And then here's the map, the strategic movement board of B-17. You start here at the 8th Air Force Base, then you go from Zone 1 outward to Zone 8. The missions generally got more dangerous, obviously, the further from land you are. The maximum extent of fighters was right here. So anything inside this range, you had the chance of having escort fighters drive off the Germans. Out here, not so much. So there you go. And the rest of this is just kind of junk nonsense. It's stuff that I did back in the day. I wrote up a lot of narrative pieces for my games. This is just copies of the original mission log, and I don't think I threw away any of them actually. So I just made a bunch of copies of this, and then I think I printed this off of BGG. This is another example of a record sheet, and I wish I could remember who this was, but it's been a while since I've even looked at this this game, I should say, book of pages and charts and everything. But yeah, here we go. We've got all kinds of different mission charts. Never threw any of them away. B-17 logpad. Reorder now. Consult latest parts list for cost. That's an old address there, so don't even try to look it up. Oh, let's see. So, and this is kind of the funny thing. I was going through the box just before I did this video. I tried to do my own back in the day. And this would have been on my Commodore IBM computer. Yeah, so I created my own chart. I don't even know if you can see that, but you can tell it's a dot matrix printer, and I was so creative back in the day. Whoopee. And that's it, pretty much. There's no other... I don't think there's even the general insert that said do a friend a favor or whatever it was that you could do to sign your friends up for spam marketing back in the day from Avalon Hill. But that is B-17 Queen of the Skies, the old Avalon Hill classic, which still plays pretty well if you don't mind, as I said, the on-rails aspect of the game. So that in mind, let's check out and target for today. Let's look at the back of it. So you can see good solid 2-inch box here. And there you can already see the artwork is much different. There's much more information on these cards than there were on the B-17 ones. So I'm not going to read all this, but this is, if you're not familiar with it, it is a dedicated solo game. So one player only. I don't think there's any multiple player options. There might be. If not, I'm sure there's some variants out there on BGG for this kind of thing. So let's give this guy an open here. Again, tweezers, your best friend in the world. Not just for moving pieces on a game map, but also for opening boxes, as you can tell here. All right. The moment of Christmas. Opening the new game box and the new game box smell. Well, not so much. Anyway, we got baggies, we got dice, 2 10-sided, 2 10-sided and 2 6-sided dice. The rules of play, which are a lot heftier than what was in B-17. Looking on the back here, 44 pages, but again, there's probably quite a bit of color context here as well. Optional rules, sources. Let's see what else we've got back here. Optional rules, lots of optional rules, it looks like. It's been a while, I can't remember. It's been probably 3 or 4 years since I've really looked at this game. More optional rules. Additional German aircraft rules, post-mission debriefing. Okay, so we're looking at 28 pages. So maybe 2/3 of the length of this book. Another thing I'll mention real quick, just as I'm looking at this. So, haven't played, have owned, and still own. This one, B-29, I'm not as much of a fan of. It is a good game, but it's more of a navigation simulator. I might pull the trigger on this again if I find it for a decent price somewhere, as well as this, because it's my understanding you really can't do this without this, because this really makes it more of a nail-biter game. Whereas here, you're just flying over the Pacific and hoping you make your navigation checks. I didn't have a lot of fun with it. It was all right. It wasn't bad. It wasn't exciting like this one or B-17 Queen of the Skies. So target for tonight. I've not tried it yet, but I might because I really like Night Fighter Ace by Greg Smith over at Compass. So this kind of might tie in with that in a way. Excuse me. And then Picket Duty. I own that. That's another game that I owned. Went through my phase where I didn't like games on rails and then ended up selling it. So this particular one I rebought and I enjoy it thoroughly. So I don't know. I guess we go through those moments in life as gamers. But as you can tell, the rule book is rather text heavy. That might put some people off. It's also black and white, so I don't know if that's going to bother you or not. There's not a lot of glory or gloss to it. It's regular paper manual, but I don't remember it really being a problem trying to understand. And then we got a pilot's flight operating instructions for Army models B-17F and G, YB-40 Armed Escort, and the B-24D and J. This is a 24-page document, and it is, I believe, lots of charts. That's what this was. Like the chart book, the book of charts, the book of tables to roll on to figure out damage and other such things. And then we got another one. Combined Strategic Arms Committee, Jockey Committee, Daylight Strategic Bombing Campaign Europe, etc., etc. And this one is another hefty one. We're looking at 55 pages, but it's got some interesting things like this B-17 instrument panel, and I believe there's more charts and tables in this one if I remember right. Yeah, here we go. So campaign targets, campaign selection, lots of targets, cities that you might target. Yeah, this is another chart book. Lots of it too. Tons and tons and tons of tables, which puts B-17 to shame. This is like, I've heard it described as B-17 on steroids. Am I the only one bothered by this, that this is angling upward? This is the top, but the books are in backwards or upside down. That's weird. I don't know. I'm a little too anal about these things. All right, so game tables. Oh, good. More game tables. Again, I forgot. It's been so long. More bomber crashes on takeoff, in the zones. Looks like navigation tables, combat tables, interception tables, different types of German aircraft. And that is... injury locations. This one goes into greater detail. Head, abdomen, neck, face, thorax. It can be brutal. So then let's look at what else we got here. We've got a 1942 Bomber Group game formation board. So this is in place of that other one that I showed you from B-17. Looks like we've got a coast of France here. There's Le Havre, Cologne, Germany. Schweinfurt is there. So it looks like it's taking that into consideration. But we also got London on this top map. So 1942 and 1943. So this is just where you place your bomber, whether you're in the high squadron or the low squadron, low cell, middle cell, or high cell, which will impact, I believe, how often or how much you're intercepted, which is a weird way of saying it, but it's just going to determine where German fighters come at you. Some places are more protected spots than others within a B-17 formation. And here is the upgraded crew compartment that I showed you from B-17, but now this is much more glamorous looking, full color. Hopefully it's not hard to see there. So then we've got a crew placement sheet as well. Looks like this is where you're generating your position on that aforementioned chart. Here's another one. Oh, this is for the B-17G. Okay, I didn't notice that. B-17F, B-17G. Another nice production value there. And then we've got the Liberator, the B-24DGs. Let's just do this. There's a lot more in this box. And that is it in all its glory. One thing a lot of people like about this game is, of course, the Liberator is included in the game, whereas it was not in the B-17. Of course, it's the name, B-17. B-24J, another nice artwork. I really like what they did with these, although I'd probably be doing the V17s. Not that I have anything against the Liberator, just kind of my preference. And then here's the YB40, which I can't remember what the purpose was of it. I think it was just a total flak platform, essentially just threw out tons of machine gun bullets to shoot down enemy fighters. I think that was the only purpose, but I could be wrong about that. All right, now to the cards. These cards in B-17. In this one, they're these counters. As you can see, they are really nice. I like the full color. This reminds me of Picket Duty because the Japanese fighters are in similar tiles, although I think they're a little bit larger on Picket Duty. And we have some more counters. Feels like it's two stuck together, but it's not. Crew counters here, pilot, co-pilot, etc. Wounds, targets, results of fire, ace markers, green markers, bombers, all kinds of cool markers. I mean, the artwork that went into this is definitely an upgrade over B-17 Queen of the Skies. Nothing on the back. And then here we go. We've got one. Instead of getting a pad, you get these sheets. I guess you can photocopy them. And, wow, okay, yeah, we got a lot of them here. You can photocopy them and do what you will with them. So they don't give you, or you can laminate them and use a erasable marker. That would probably be an option as well. So those are all four different bombers: B-24J, B-24D, B-17G, and B-17F. So then we have YB-40 mission log sheet. So yeah, this is basically an ammunition carrier and machine gun carrier, a big porcupine. Mission results log for every mission, I think it looks like. Oh, no, these are one mission per. Okay, I got it. One mission. All right. Group name assignment sheet, 42 and 43. Composite mission record to record all of your missions. It says 35 here at the very bottom. Player should copy sheet before play. It's interesting because in B-17 you only needed to survive 25 missions, whereas this is 35, I think. And then a zone worksheet to record variables or modifiers that might impact the game for each. And, green sheet of paper, hey, bonus, free. And then here, these are pretty cool. These are not as thick as the counter sheet, but they're still pretty neat. You got B-17F, B-17G, YB-40, B-24J, B-24D. I like the artwork. I think they're pretty cool. And I guess they're obviously meant to lay over this, which is mounted and shows you where the enemy fighters come in after you. So we've got the different zones. You're flying here. I showed you that map in B-17, which is what this is, I think, supposed to track, going from Zone 1 to Zone 15, the furthest possible place from you. And then the fighters go into these different spaces. Instead of just laying them on the map, over the map edge, or over the end, you actually can place them on here with your bomber in the middle. So, and that is it. That is Target for today by Legion Wargames. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.